Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the January 14th, 2025 meeting of Henderson County Fiscal Court. We are glad you're with us, and for those watching online, we're glad you're with us as well. We will begin, as we always do in this new year, with an invocation. Please join me in prayer by standing. Dear Heavenly Father, please watch over this group as we try to make good decisions for our community. Please watch over the people of Henderson County as we recover from last week's winter storm. Please bless the first responders who helped during that tough time and all the other folks who pitched in to make it as good as it could be under difficult circumstances. So please watch over our men and women in uniform, both here and abroad. We say these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Sure. Magistrate Starks.
Here.
Magistrate Berry.
Here.
Magistrate Southard.
Here.
Magistrate Tompkins.
Here.
And Magistrate Putman.
Here.
Thank you. Gentlemen, in your packets, you have the minutes of the December 17th regular fiscal court meeting. And after a period of review, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
So move. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other corrections, additions, or clarifications? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You also have the minutes of our special called meeting on January 3rd. And I'll entertain a motion to approve that very short set of minutes.
So move. Second.
You have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Our first Judges Scholar for 2025 is John Murray V from North Middle School. We are glad you're with us today, and I'd like John to join me right up here in front of the dais, please. We're going to read a proclamation in your honor.
Whereas John Murray V has been chosen by North Middle School to be the recipient of the Judges Scholar Award for exceptional efforts in both academics and school activities, and whereas John's hard work and dedication in making the most of educational experiences and developing positive relationships with teachers and other students will lead to future success, and whereas success is measured in many different ways, whether it be passing a test, scoring the winning point, achieving a particular goal, or taking the necessary steps for overall improvement. And whereas the Henderson County school system could not let John's efforts go unnoticed, and whereas Henderson County Fiscal Court supports the school system and acknowledges those accomplishments as being significant because students such as John Murray V will be our future leaders. And now, therefore, I, Brad Schneider, County Judge Executive of Henderson, join with the Henderson County Fiscal Court to proclaim January 14th, 2025 as John Murray V Day.
He knew who he was living with. He said, I better look over here first.
Family and school staff, come on up and join us. I'll go balance there. All right. Congratulations. He's a fifth. John Murray the fifth. Is that right? Wow. That's fantastic. And I got to say, I love his shoes. Yeah. I really do.
I guarantee it.
Yeah, I like it. And congratulations. Congratulations, young man. Big honor. I know your family and all the folks at North are proud of you. And now, buckle in. You get to see how the sausage is made. So I'm glad you're with us. Many of you know, or I hope you know, that we have new leadership in the coroner's office. Sheila Patterson is now coroner, and deputy coroner Janice Morton is here to give us what will become a regular update on the goings-on in the coroner's office. So, Janice, we're glad to hear from you.
Thank you. And I apologize for Sheila. She got called out at 8:15 this morning, so she's on call today, of all the days. Okay, I think in your package you do have a copy of our monthly stats, actually for 2024, the entire year. You need to know that these stats, in one form or another, Kurt has helped me clean this sheet up a little bit so it can be read a little bit easier. But I've been doing this for the coroner's office since late 20. It's first started off as that first section up there is just keeping count of the cases that the deputies did. And then we've expanded into everything that we do, the number of deaths per month the coroner's office actually handles. And then looking at, and so what you're going to see here, there's a couple of things highlighted. Our total cases for this year was 138. Last year was 152, so we're down in cases. At the very top, when you're looking at our numbers, you're looking at C means the case that deputy did for that month, the number of cases. A means assist, and that means that, for instance, if I get called out to a case and we need the van brought or I need extra muscle, which I always do, then we call one of the other deputies. We try to get a hold of one of them that's not on call to come and help us. And usually what that help means is when you're looking at the number of assists here, that's the number of times we've had to use the van for that month as well. I'm going to help, or we'll try to get the van usage down more specific for you. So I guess I'll just stop right here as you're looking at that. Are there any questions? I'll be glad to answer them, but I think Sheila and I really planned on every month kind of coming back, and this is a lot to dissolve. I mean, we've had years to develop this, but it's kind of a lot to dissolve in the first setting. So anything that sticks out for you all that you'd like me to answer?
Pretty self-explanatory to me.
Well,
I'm sorry, Judge, go ahead.
I was going to point out that I think most people know that the coroner's called out on accidents with fatalities or crime scenes with fatalities, potential crime scenes. One of the things they may not know is the cremations, the role that you play
Yes.
in cremations, because there's a lot of them.
Yes, there is.
And would you mind, you would think off on its face that a family deciding to have a loved one cremated, why does that involve the coroner's office? But you might explain why that's
Okay.
true.
Well, actually, in the state of Kentucky, there's a law, and it basically says that no cremation will happen without the coroner investigating the circumstances behind the cremation. So that usually calls, most of it comes from obviously from the funeral homes. We do have Evansville, some of a cremation, Owensboro's got a crematory as well, and sometimes bodies will go directly to them. But we have to sign off. If the death happens in Henderson County, we have to sign off on that cremation. So if I get a cremation that comes across, then I'm responsible for either checking with a physician, or some of our cremations have actually been like hospice type things, and we'll call the hospice and find out when they were admitted, what their diagnosis was, expected, obviously with hospice it's an expected death. But those are the type of things that we have to investigate before we can actually sign our John Henry on the bottom line for the cremation.
And I guess that's to protect the idea that a cremation might eliminate evidence that
Right.
could be used in the future if,
Right.
if a case was decided not be so clear-cut.
Right.
So,
Right.
does that make sense?
So-
So there's a lot more that you have to be involved in than people might understand.
Right. The other piece of it is we also get called to deaths in the home. We get called to the emergency room for deaths. If someone has not been, if they come into the emergency room and pass away, then we're called as well. If they come into or in the emergency room, admitted to the hospital, and they die within a 24-hour period, we're also called for those deaths that we have to investigate as well. So,
No, Judge, you just read my mind.
Okay, good.
I looked at the 162 also there.
I do appreciate,
Okay.
looking forward to regular reports, and it's good to know how active you are.
We will keep this report up for you. If you have any suggestions, please let me know, and I'll get to the expert back there, Kurt, and he'll help me get all that straightened up. I do want you to look at June's number, though.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
Okay. In deaths, we had a total of 10 deaths. But if you'll notice, in males and females, I only have 9. And that is the reason, and I actually got called to skeletal remains. And so those skeletal remains, we may not find out till next year or the year after, because it takes a forensic pathologist to be able to determine. At those remains, we only got, I think we got a skull, and we got a femur and something else, but we did not get a pelvis out of that one. So that's the reason why that is asterisk for you. There were a total of 10 deaths that were recorded in June because we identified that skeletal remain as a death, but we don't know the sex of that skeletal remain. So those are the things that I'll highlight for you.
Well, thank you for your help and your work. And please send our regards to Sheila.
I will. She was going to try to be.
Oh.
She came in?
Yeah.
Well, come on up here. This is our hard-working corner, let me tell you. Cracks the whip on me most of the time.
Good morning, I'm Sheila Patterson, y'all's appointed food corner. I hope to be able to fulfill the obligations of the job. Y'all got issues that I need to take care of, please let me know. And she's my right-hand man, so.
Well.
You've already done your report. Well, you know what I mean.
Well, I do think this regular report really helps.
Well, at least it gives you an idea of what kind of things that we do deal with, and
Right.
they are time-consuming.
Absolutely.
Right, done?
Any other questions?
I did have also a question, since Bruce is no longer a part of the department, does that leave you one short?
Correct.
Yeah, so are you looking for a part-time or assistant or,
Hopefully, I've got it filled as of February 1st.
okay,
So if that don't work out, then yes, I'll be looking.
okay, good deal. I had a feeling you would
Yeah.
be on the
I'm trying,
lookout.
I'm planning ahead.
Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
y'all.
The detention center has a van, an old van to surplus. Jailer Todd, anything you'd like to add to that?
Just one that gives a lot of having problems.
You talked about this the last meeting, I believe. Yeah. So, we'll read a resolution here real quick.
Resolution declaring certain county property to be surplus and providing for the disposition thereof. Whereas the Henderson County Jailer is the owner of certain personal property used by the Henderson County Detention Center that is no longer of use to the detention center. Whereas pursuant to KRS 67.0802, the fiscal court finds that it is in the best interest of the county to deem the property as surplus and provide for the disposition thereof. Whereas the Henderson Fiscal Court wishes to offer the said personal property to be sold by public auction in accordance with the law, transferred to another eligible agency, or disposed of scrap at the discretion of the Henderson County Judge Executive. Now therefore be it resolved by the Henderson County Fiscal Court, County of Henderson, Kentucky, as follows. Pursuant to KRS 67.0802, the following item is hereby declared to be surplus. 2015 Chevy Express van. It shall be sold at a duly advertised public or online auction pursuant to all applicable laws at such time and place and in such manner as shall be arranged by the Henderson County Jailer, transferred to another eligible agency, or disposed of as scrap. The Henderson County Jailer or his designee is hereby authorized to make said arrangements.
You get a motion to approve putting this out for bid?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Now, the fun part of this meeting that I described to Johnny, you're going to have to be patient with us, but we're going to open material bids and have County Engineer Nick Stallings come up and open the bids for us. Settle in. This could take a little while.
saved that one for last.
I'm
All
a
right,
little-
so
I'm a
we
little
got.
disappointed you don't have the machete you usually carry.
Oh, I lost it, man. Sad. It's gonna be a sad bid opening. I lost it. All right, so we got Moit Concrete. They have brought in this is for a concrete bid item. Our bid. All right, we got 3,500 PSI is $158 a yard. 4,000 PSI is $160 a yard. We've got diggable global fill, which is $100 a yard, and the structural, which is non-diggable, is $105 a yard. And that's for global fill. So that seems to be our only concrete. All right, so now we're going to go to rock. Okay, for a rock, we have Moser that came in. Their threes is $26.05 a ton. 57s is $26.05 a ton. 68s is $27.55 a ton. 9Ms is $29.20 a ton. DGA is $24.50 a ton. Class 1, which is 10-inch riprap, is $29.65 a ton. 12-inch Class 2 riprap is $29.65 a ton. Class 3, which is 18-inch riprap, is $30.85 a ton. Our fill sand is $16.90 a ton, and the mortar sand is $20.30 a ton. So we have also an added bid in here for pea gravel, very rarely used, but it's $28.80 a ton. So we got a pretty high price compared to what it was last year. Okay, now we got Moit Concrete. Okay, so they have 3/4s. Their gradation's a little different on the large rock. It's $23.50 a ton. 57s is $24.50 a ton. 68/67s, as I said before, their gradation is a little different. It's $25 a ton. Their 8s and 9s, again different, is $25.50 a ton. DGA is $22.50 a ton. They have no prices for riprap. And they got fill sand is $14 a ton. They have no bid for mortar sand. They do have river gravel at $18 a ton and river sand, which is unwashed, at $15 a ton. So that's a lot of numbers. We'll go back and look at these and make a decision on the materials. Concrete's pretty cut and dry. We only had one bid. So now let's look at the pipe. Okay, this year this is from Midwest Supply, which is out of Owensville, Indiana. Okay, for their dual wall pipe, this is the N12 plastic pipe. They got 4-inch, 95 cents a foot. 6-inch, $1.84 a foot. 8-inch, which is $2.46 a foot. 10-inch, which is $4.20 a foot. 12-inch, which is $5.51 a foot. 15-inch, which is $7.40 a foot. 18-inch, which is $10.39 a foot. 24-inch, which is $17.34 a foot. Then we got 30-inch, which is $24.42 a foot. 36-inch is $32.02 a foot. 42-inch is $46.85 a foot. 48-inch is $57.59 a foot, and 60-inch is $108.02. Okay, so that was ASTM standard. and then he gave us prices for ASHTO standards, which is kind of weird. But 12-inch is $623 a foot, 15-inch is $839 a foot, 18-inch is $1099 a foot, 24-inch is $1794 a foot, 30-inch is $2501 a foot, 36-inch is $3323 a foot, 42-inch is $4744 a foot, 48-inch is $5819 a foot, and 60-inch is $11459 a foot. All right, so
What's the difference in those two pipes?
they're for different standards. They're both dual wall. One is heavier overburden. If you're deeper into the roadway. So if you're 2
So
foot
that's
deep
the
versus
increased price difference.
versus 10 foot. And some of them we get far enough, we go straight to corrugated metal anyways. For the overburden pressures.
Okay.
Okay, so that's sad. They didn't do any corrugated metal pipe. So only thing they did was N12, which is plastic pipe. That's sad. All right. That's the only bid we got for pipe. So our option that we have, which we can do, is the state bid price. They got corrugated metal pipe, both aluminized and polymer coated. We use that for 60-inch and greater, obviously, because you can't make N12 bigger than 60-inch pipes. We have places where we need larger pipes, 72, 96, 112, that kind of thing. So we will obviously look at the state contract price if we need to get anything bigger. And that's just what we'll do for the corrugated metal, since we don't have any other bids, which I'm assuming acceptable. Correct, Steve?
Yes, we can purchase off state contracts.
That's what I like to hear.
Of course, the fiscal court also does have the right, if they want to reject all bids and go out and re-advertise it and seek additional bidders, but I assume we'll be waiting on the recommendation of the county engineer.
Nice.
We will.
But I guess one thing, we have set these as plastic, the N12, but we asked for rebids for corrugated metal? Or do y'all want me to come back in with?
I think you need to huddle with Kurt and make that decision. Whatever you want to do, I think we'll be agreeable with. Just try to figure out what the best price could be, what would get us the best deal.
Is it super difficult to buy off state contract?
Zero.
Okay,
Zero.
well then is it going to be, more beneficial price-wise to go out for bid again?
Not really. State contracts, some of their prices are crazy high, but some of their prices that they buy over and over and over are real good and competitive, and corrugated pipe's one of them.
I agree. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thanks, Nick.
Yep. Next, we have a bid opening for Judicial Center cleaning. That's, again, across the street. And Kurt Wiesen will talk to us about it.
Unfortunately, we have not received any bids. Number of companies are contacted. Nobody's submitted any bids in. This is if you see with the number of bids we received for materials this year, this is an ongoing problem with vendors.
Wow.
They want to sell you stuff, but they don't want to commit themselves. So my only suggestion is we go out for a rebid and try to drum up some business, some interested business.
In the meantime, is Clean Team still handling the Judicial Center for us
Yes,
until
sir.
a certain time?
Yes.
A certain date. I think we need to try to bid it again, see what happens.
Works for me.
Yeah.
If we don't get any bids, we have the ability then to negotiate the best price we can get with the vendor of our choice. Steve will look that up. But
Oh, I didn't know that was a question.
I was
thought it
looking right
a
at you, I'm
statement.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we get no
That's,
bids, we do have the right to get in and go negotiate the best deal we think we can get, right? So.
Yes.
Yeah, if we've gone out a couple times and we're not getting any, no, non-responsive.
Yeah. Let's try one more time.
Yep.
Okay. We have a request from Brent Jacobs for some IT equipment to replace some aging equipment that also has to do with cybersecurity, and I asked him to come explain that to the court.
Well, the county's main storage system and servers are coming up on 4 years. I usually don't like keeping equipment longer than 5 years. So Dell contacted me about a month ago. They've done some studies of our equipment, and with one of their top business partners, Redesign, they did an audit and came out with a recommendation for new storage and new servers for a total of $57,579.20. That'll get us going for the next probably 5 years.
So is this end of life,
Yeah.
technology update?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah.
It's over the typical bid threshold, but we're also dealing with specific equipment.
This is specific equipment, and it is on the state contract,
Okay.
so.
We have money in the contingency fund to move to handle this cost, and I don't think it's something that we can ignore.
Or disagree.
Absolutely need to move forward, and this partly relates to our security, and so can't be too careful.
Agreed.
If you want to go ahead and approve this expense, we'll work to move the money necessarily and get it done.
I'll make the motion to approve the request.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion or questions of Brent, who I think does a very good job of making sure we stay ahead of the game as best we can?
I agree.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brent.
You have in your packets the quarterly detention center report, and I'll ask Jailer Todd to come up and augment that with his comments.
Congratulations, Mr. Murphy. I know your parents are proud of you. I guess you have the quarterly report before you. There's nothing really pressing. Our deputy numbers continue to stay well. We're good there, like a couple, but other than that, we're good. We survived the storm. We had some trees down we'll have to deal with here in a little bit. And I appreciate the county garage coming through and sanding our driveway, our drive for us. Appreciate that. And as you know, that we, on the surplus property, we have a van that keeps giving us trouble. We worked on a transmission a couple times and other things. So we decided that we're probably going to replace a couple here and there. And we got one. We sent out an RFP, and again, we didn't receive any response off of that. So we went out and got 3 bids, and I meant to bring those and apologize for not bringing those. But Henderson Bothell board was the cheapest, so we would like to purchase a new 2024 van, 15 passenger. I'll send those bids to y'all. But they were a few $1,000s cheaper, and that's just what we wanted. They have one in stock, so we've asked them they would hold it for us until I came to court. It runs about $60,000.
Anybody have any questions?
How many bids did we receive?
3. We went out and got 3, yeah. 3. Don Franklin and somebody out of Louisville, and then Henderson.
And you have a record of those bids? and-
Yeah, I'll send them to you. I meant to bring them up. They're in another folder, and I just picked up this one.
Okay.
I left.
Any other questions about that? Make a motion to let them go buy that van?
So moved.
Second.
I've been concerned here for a while, the safety of these vans. in age, they're driving to Indianapolis and St. Louis, and
Yeah.
5, 6, 10 inmates, and we've put lights. They didn't have any lights, and at the times they've been broke down. It had flashers, and so we had some lights up in pole barn we put on. I like to be safe, make sure they got everything they need to safely transport those federal inmates.
So we do have a motion and a second.
Yep.
Any other questions of Bruce? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Todd.
Thank you. Please send our regards to jail staff who came in,
Yeah.
even at the height of the ice storm, to, make
we,
sure that
I designated
shifts
a
were
couple-
covered.
Yeah, a couple to go train, get the ones that couldn't make it in.
And also want to compliment you, since you became jailer, our turnover issue has really improved greatly.
That guy.
And the fact we're only 2 short on either male jailers or female jailers is probably as good as it's been in a long time.
And
So,
we've got some real good deputies, some gentlemen that's beefed up tall and what we need. And
good for them.
Yeah, training and our increase pay helped a lot.
Good work. We appreciate you.
Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Bruce.
I'll ask for a motion to accept the report.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Sheriff Stoffer, as required by state, has submitted his projected revenues for 2025. This is in your packet. And anything you'd like to add to that projection?
No, as I said last year, this is an average. We take an average of the last 5 years and come up with these numbers. As I told the judge earlier, we want to under-promise and over-perform, so that's their goal in doing this. And it's an increase of about 6% of what we presented last year, so.
Any questions about that? You did, I think, from what I can tell, ongoing revenue, you're going to hit your goal that you set last year.
Yes.
Looks like, and it's always good. Or, I say it's a goal, whatever we project. It's tax money. For all those listening, we don't have a goal to see how much money we can extract from your pocket. We just need to budget around what we think will happen, and that's what we're doing. Any other questions on this?
Move to accept.
We have a motion and a second to accept the county fee office budget proposed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We also have your normal monthly sheriff's report. Any questions about that? Entertain a motion to approve the regular report.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I'd just like to let you know that, I just want to commend my staff for their work during the Snowmageddon, ice storm, whatever we want to call it. I'd also like to compliment Nick and his crew and also the state for helping us, because it's different than 2009 when I was at the city. So, I was telling somebody the other day, you don't realize until you drive the county roads how many trees overhang the roadway that you don't pay attention to until there's a half-inch of ice on them. And it gets to be a little creepy at night when you go out. I mean, again, I went out Saturday or Sunday night to help the folks, and you're moving limbs out of their way, and you stop and think, and you look up and you think,
Crack.
well, yeah, you look up and you realize that what you're moving just came from up there at some point, and you're like, ugh, and it's dark, and you hear things creak and crack, and it's like, so it's a little uneasy. So I certainly understand how the road crews that are out there with chainsaws and safety protection get a little skittish with dealing that. But everybody worked together, and Kenny stepped in, and what Kenny had done for EMA for our community was unbelievable. So, I just want to go on record of acknowledging all those folks that are out grinding it when some of us are in the cold without power and some of us have power. So, but
Your
it's
crew,
nice.
especially the first 24 hours, your guys did a lot of work when people were dealing with slide-offs, and it was just hitting, and I know that you had a lot of calls to make, a lot of calls to answer, and so please tell your guys how much we appreciate
Certainly will.
that.
And thank you all for your all support.
Yep, we appreciate all you guys do.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Mr. Gold, your report.
Judge, I've got several checks today, although I left them downstairs. They're being brought up to me. I've got what they are. But shortly, I'll be giving you, through John here, checks in the amount of supplement from the city, $458.33, flow through from state child support, $3,737.54, jail fees, $283.74, two interest checks, one in the amount of $20.21 and one in the amount of $100.48, bringing today's total to $4,600.30, and the fiscal year to date, $135,346.29. And those are on their way up.
Motion to accept.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the county attorney's report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Treasurer Ryder.
This is the second reading of Budget Amendment Number 2 for the current fiscal year, amending into the budget unanticipated receipts of $288,394.43. The breakdown of this is increased receipts and expenditures for the EMA department of $9,778. That represents the receipts from a drone grant and a surplus command trailer that was sold. Second breakdown is increased receipts and expenditures for the Sheriff's Department of $28,616.43. This is for a vendor reimbursement receipt for a voided check, which was processed by the vendor. The third part is state grants amending into the budget $250,000 from prior year carryover with the expenditure line of contingency appropriation for future transfers. The total of the budget amendment is $288,394.43.
Motion to approve that
So
amendment.
move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next.
This is the second reading of Budget Amendment Number 3 for the current fiscal year, amending into the budget prior year surplus funds of the general fund of $2,500,000 with the corresponding expenditures of the general fund of $2,500,000. This represents the contribution for the Audubon Park Conference Center project, which was discussed at the November 26, 2024 meeting.
Again, is a potential contribution. We're putting it available in our budget. Any other questions about that? Motion to approve.
So move.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
You have two cash transfers. The first one from the general fund to the road fund, transferring $500,000. This is a budgeted transfer. Also from the state grants fund to the general fund, $250,000. You heard me speak earlier in Budget Amendment Number 2. That was amending into the state grants fund from the prior year surplus of the $250,000. This cash transfer is transferring it from the grants fund to the general fund as surplus from the state grants fund.
Motion to approve the transfers.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions or discussion about that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I have claims from the general fund to Cummins Sales and Service, $712.14. This is for Judicial Center repairs and is to come from the Judicial Center renewals and repair appropriation line. To Eline Financial Services, which is the credit card for the clerk, $1,691.18. This is for miscellaneous office supplies and is to come from the clerk's office supply appropriation line. To Gannett, Indiana, Kentucky, Local IQ, which is the newspaper advertising, $633.33 for Sheriff's 2023 audit and is to come from the auditing appropriation line. Also, $3,964.41, which is for clerk's advertising expenses and is to come from the election advertising expense and printing expense for election registration appropriation lines. To Henderson County Master Commissioner, $850. This is for the expenses of a property foreclosure case and sale and is to come from the demolition and tax sales appropriation line. To Golden Corral, $556.72. This is for meals for the road department for the January 8th snow event and is to come from the employee assistant appropriation line. To Schmidt Refrigeration, Air Conditioning, and Heating, $683.18. This is for coroner's office, the coroner's office cooler repairs and is to come from the coroner's supplies and appropriation line. From the road department to the Kentucky State Treasurer, the Division of Waste Management, $4,916.46. This is returning the unused portion of the Household Hazardous Waste Grant, which was awarded June of 2024, and is to come from the Recycling Equipment Repairs Maintenance Appropriation line. From the Jail Fund to Advanced Document Solutions, $839.93. This is for copier expenses and is to come from the Data Processing Equipment Appropriation line. To U.S. Bank, which is the credit card, $2,399.82. The majority of this is to come from the equipment repairs, office supplies, and contracted services appropriation lines. That's all.
Are we missing 2 of the meals that we were able to provide for the road department? Because we paid for a total of 3.
I can check unless we were
Please
paid,
go
they
check.
were under 500, or if they were invoiced to be paid with the next court meeting. I think they were probably invoiced to be paid because weren't one of them paid on the credit card used with?
Perhaps, yeah.
That should be prepared for the next court meeting in 2 weeks.
Okay. There was also, I hosted a meeting of state legislators from Kentucky and Indiana.
Okay,
I'm
they were
sorry?
both under 500 and.
So they're able to be paid?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just to clarify, the first 3 days of the ice storm, our crews were operating all day long in very cold weather, and many of them did not have power at their homes. So we thought it was absolutely important to, A, provide them a hot meal at the end of the day, and then perhaps have enough left over to take home with them, so they wouldn't have to worry about cooking themselves food when they got home. And we did that 3 days during the worst of it. And we decided to take that out of the employee assistance line item, but under state
Sounds
of
like money well
emergency.
spent to me.
Yeah.
Sounds like money well spent to me.
And they trust me, it especially the guys who were cutting down trees all day in 20-degree temperatures, it made a difference in their morale. And you also heard me say I hosted a meeting, co-hosted a meeting of state legislators from Indiana and Kentucky recently to discuss the I-69 bridge project and potential help the Indiana contingent could give us in convincing the Indiana Department of Transportation and the new governor to keep both of the twin bridges when the project is ultimately done, and to explain how added funding from both states, either through federal grants or other sources, could help speed up the project, too. It was a very worthwhile meeting, and the least we could do is pay for lunch while they were here meeting with us. So it was a good meeting, just FYI on that. So anything else?
That's all.
So we have extra claims. Any questions about those?
I move to pay the claims.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else in the audience have anything for good of the county? Reverend Johnson?
Judge and the mattress, Happy New Year. I just want to piggyback off of what Sheriff Stauffer said, but just from a public citizen standpoint. I can't say enough about our first responders. I want to thank Mr. Kenny Garrett and Jill Ward during our time here these last few weeks, and certainly the wonderful majors, Major Norman and Claire Granger of Salvation Army, for this just hospitality and opening their doors. If you're out and about in the community, please stop by and just thank them. Thank them for what they've done here last week. We know it was a challenge, an adjustment for all citizens, but sometimes we just need to come forward and just thank people and just tell them how much we appreciate them. So the police department, the sheriff department, the roads people, those that were in our town, and working with the hotels as well too. So certainly we want to keep our hearts and our thoughts for our neighbors in the West Coast as well too, all that's taken place. Thank Judge for helping us with our Dr. Martin Luther King program. We had to just do it on the radio like we did last year, but if you just have some free time down the road, go and review that. It's on WSON on their Facebook page under their video archive. Mayor Terry did a wonderful job, had a powerful speech to give to our tri-state, so you can pick that up later on when you want a chance to look at that. Congratulations to John Mary. I know his family very well, and I'm peacock proud along with him. And so congratulations to them, and keep up the good work, John. Keep up the good work. So just want to come up and just give those accolades and thank everyone for these last few weeks.
And thank you, Reverend, for organizing the MLK Day celebration every year. You go above and beyond to do that, and had to be flexible this year with the whole thing, and I think it ended up being okay. I mean, and I did listen to Mayor Terry speak after I was done, and she did a great job. So thank you very much. Anybody else for good of the county?
All right, first of all, I want to commend my my crew for working like they did. Took care of the roads, trees, that kind of thing, kept all the roads open as quick as we could. So we had a lot of compliments, and I wanted to commend them so people on Facebook and our YouTubers could definitely hear that. So what I want to come back and do is, I asked that I was going to go out for the grant from the DOT/Federal Highways to help do part of our match for our large grant we got with SS4A. I was asking for $805,259 to help part of our 20% match, and we received that grant. So that basically brings to light that we can do for the price of $27,000 from the county that we'll get $4.1 million to do all the work on the roads. That's tree cutting, road widening, ditch moving, all signage and that kind of thing. So that $805,000 definitely helps for our match, both like in kind and green dollars. So,
do you need the $27,000 and change paid from fiscal quarter, or will there be some in-kind services that can count for that?
I think that will have to be green money.
Okay.
From what I've read, it won't be able to be in kind because this is different. But again, from a math standpoint,
yeah,
$27,000 to get $4.1 million.
Pretty good deal.
I mean, that's pretty good numbers.
Yeah. I'm going to get fiscal court motion to approve spending that amount of money when we get to that point.
I make the motion to approve.
I second.
Motion and second. Any other discussion about that? You've done a great job securing this funding, both the initial grant and that $800,000 match, which we potentially would have had to come up with had you not done that.
Yes.
So
Huge. This is huge.
Yes. Good job, Nick.
Yeah.
Sounds like you have universal approval, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Mr. Garrett. And you've heard many people say it, and I think we made it public last week. We appreciate all the work your office did, and I know you were all over the place all the time. And a lot of good things came out of a tough situation, so thank you.
You're welcome. It's been a long couple of weeks or more, but I just wanted to kind of run through something real quick so that the public and the court knows what our next steps are. We're moving into a recovery phase now. Now we're past all the initial emergency response stuff that's been done by everybody in here. I do want to say thank you. Bruce is still here. The inmates came out and helped us with cots, moving cots from storage over to the various shelters that needed to be set up. So that was tremendous. Without them, it would have been a lot harder to get that done. So we used them several times, and I mean, I'm still delivering cots now. I mean, I just took some more out last night to the Harbor House that needed more cots. So it's just constantly, we're just doing all kinds of stuff all the time. But we are moving over to recovery at this point. And one of the things that we're going to be doing is we have several volunteer groups that are going to be coming into Henderson, in the city and the county, and Cardin, Roberts. And they're going to be offering tree cutting services free of charge. So we're setting up a call center. I think that goes active today. You'll see more about that on Facebook and through the websites and even through the news, because there's going to be a press release on that. That call center will allow the public to report their damages and their tree cutting projects that need to be done. What will happen is it'll go to a big map, and all of those services that are out there watching that map will come into town, and they will actually cut those trees up and either place them at the right-of-way, or in the county, they'll probably just put them in a pile, because in the county, as you know, we can burn. So that'll be the extent of it. They won't be removing debris from the property and taking it anywhere for anybody. It'll just be one of those things where they'll actually help folks out by cutting up that debris and putting it in piles for them. So you'll see more about that today and in the coming days, but that's one of the things that I wanted to make sure everybody knew about.
Yeah, please reiterate that in the county, they won't be taking these trees away.
Correct.
They'll just be cutting them up, which is a great service in and of itself.
It is.
And leaving them on the property for the owners to dispose of as they see fit.
That's right.
Kenny, has the city confirmed that they're doing some of the limb pickups, some of the smaller debris that's stacked around town?
We had a meeting with the mayor, the judge and I had a meeting with the mayor in Buzzy just this past week, and that was talked about, but they mentioned it would probably be a week or two before they could actually start offering that service, because there's still stuff going on. We got more weather coming in this week, maybe even some snow this weekend. I'm not really sure what that forecast is at this point, but as we get further into this, they're going to be offering the ability for people to push that up to the right-of-way, to the curb, so that they can pick it up.
Will they put it on the utility bill free of charge?
I don't know that. That'd be a question I'd have to get answered. I don't know that. That's good. It's probably a good thing, though, right?
Free of charge, yeah.
Exactly.
And to further clarify our conversation in the county, what we are working on right now, not yet to be completely decided, but three options for county residents to be able to bring their debris to Sandy Lee Watkins Park for free dumping, free disposal. We are working with the city so that if they set up a disposal site on Borax Drive at their property on the end of Borax Drive, that county residents, especially in the western end of the county, can bring their debris there, just as we will allow residents in the east end of the city, for example, if they want to bring their refuse out to Sandy Lee Watkins Park, that's fine. And we're also efforting to identify a disposal site in the south part of the county, so folks don't have to pull it all the way over to Hebbardsville or up into town. So stay tuned on that. They'll have the option of bringing debris themselves to those sites, free disposal. In the county, they can burn their debris on site, on their property. That's an option for them. Or they can certainly pay some service in the county to take it away. And those services will be able to bring that debris to our dump sites. So right now, those are going to be the three options for county residents. And the reason there's a difference is, number one, they do have the option of burning their debris on site, unlike in the city where they cannot. And we have so many roads, so many people so spread out that even attempting to even pay a contractor to come out and pick up debris off their properties would take months. And I know that people want to get this taken care of as quickly as possible. So those are the three options we're looking at for county residents at the moment. I think I've summarized that.
Yes, you have.
Any limits on size? When we used to dump out at the county garage, there was 4-inch, is as big as you could bring to that big debris pile.
We won't have any limits.
No
on
limitations.
size, yeah.
So yesterday I spoke with the state regarding the federal declaration for what we call PA, or public assistance, which is our infrastructure, roads and things along those lines. They are moving forward on getting that federal declarations to help us with the reimbursement costs for everything involved with PA, whether it's hours worked, equipment used, everything. So they're working on that. I spoke with Mayor Smith this morning, and she did confirm that we could use that spot there in Carton to use for burning, so it was no problem.
Okay.
It's a really handy spot. It's easy accessible.
Okay. We'll have some more discussions with her about how we can help.
Yes.
With eventual disposal of whatever's dumped there. So, I had a thought about this, and it escaped me. But anything else you need to be thinking about?
No, just we're not done. We're just getting started. So this is going to be around for a while.
Yeah, and I would caution everybody listening in, that it's going to take a while for these things to begin because we still have weather. We're going to have muddy ground out in the county at Sandy Lee, and we hate for anybody to come out dragging a trailer and get stuck in the mud out at Sandy Wilkins Park. So we got to make sure that's in good enough shape to accept all those loads. Right. And one thing, what I was going to say, and I remember now, is our road department is going to be considering the plan to go back up and down our roads to examine trees that are now hanging over roadways that could potentially be a problem, or limbs that are hanging in trees, haven't yet fallen to the ground, but have a danger to do so, and they are in our right-of-way and potentially could cause a problem. Right. And we want to clear those out as much as we can, too. Yeah. That will take some time, and we may either utilize a contractor contingent on our ability to get reimbursed by FEMA, or our own crews if necessary. So.
Right. Those contracting costs will be reimbursable, so that won't be a problem. And I'm working with Nick on getting that set up.
So everybody who's driving down county roads and sees these trees leaning or limbs hanging, we do know they're there, and we're going to try to get to them out in the county. Anything else? Thank you for all you do.
That's all I got. Yes, sir. Thank you.
I hope you can catch a breather here for a bit. Anybody else, anything for good of the county? We'll go around the horn then. Master Southern.
I just like to say thanks to everyone that stepped up. And we have an event like this and get very, very few complaints. That says a lot about our county. It makes you proud to live here, to see how we all pulled together and worked together and did what happened. And it's a good feeling. It really is. Congratulations, man. It's a big deal. North is a pretty good sized school, and you got picked. That says that you shined above the rest. It means a lot. Congratulations. Other than that, all good. All's good in District 3.
I'm going to bounce around a little bit because I always hate to put some guys at the end of the line all the time. So if you bear with me, Master Tompkins. Master Starks, how would you like to go next?
Thank you very much, Judge, and good morning, everyone. And certainly a pleasure to have John Murray with us today, and great way to start off a new year, having you here. And just congratulations. It is a big honor, and I see your support group here, your family, and that speaks volumes right there, is having, folks behind you, helping you, encouraging you, and here to support you. That's wonderful. So just keep up what you're doing, and we look forward to even better things down the road for you. And hopefully you've learned a lot, in just a short time you spent with us here at the county fiscal court. I think Reverend Johnson said it best. Thanks to everybody, and like Tim just said, everybody pulled together. I saw trucks still out Saturday afternoon from the county road department that were finishing up, clearing off some of those hard-to-get-to places and making sure that hopefully we had the roads in as good a shape as we possibly could to hopefully get the schools back in session this week. And so just hats off to everybody. It was a yeoman's effort. Again, those limbs are not light. Those were half of trees I saw down in some places. And so we do have a lot of cleanup to go, and appreciate you, Judge, and Kenny, and everybody working together to find a way to help everybody get their properties back in good shape after this is done. I know Keith had some personal, I've got a big limb in my backyard. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I might make it into a landscape, something, decorate it somehow. I guess, Nick, are we still good on salt? I'm sure we went through a bunch of it, but we're good for hopefully now if we get round 3. What about, we've got a call center for tree cutting services. Is there a hotline for potholes? Because I've got a feeling with all the ice, we're going to see our fair share.
I think just call the main number of the road.
Okay, that's what I thought. It's saved numbers, so I'm sure we'll be getting some calls if we haven't already started to get those. But
please encourage them to understand whether they live on a state road or
a county road. That's exactly right.
And if they live on a state road, please call the county garage, the state garage here.
And again, to reiterate, thanks for all the help with the shelters. And I know we could use some more volunteers. So anyone listening to this, if you've ever thought about a way to help folks when they really need it, this is a way that we could do that. I think there were some times we wished we could have had some more spaces available. A lot of that comes down to manpower. So if we could get some more volunteers, I think Kenny can help coordinate that at the EMA office. But again, thanks to the Salvation Army. The majors came out of retirement to help us out here in Henderson, and I think we've put them through double time in the space of time that they've been here, and they've risen to the challenge, and so I appreciate them very much. And with that, I'll say everything else right now is good. The sun's out, and I'm looking forward to spring.
Thank you, and Master Barry.
Thank you, Judge. I'm going to make this easy. It's always difficult going after Measure Starks. He seems to cover everything, which is good for me. Thank everybody that helped do anything during the recent storms. That covers everybody that done anything to help. Thank everybody. John Murray, you ready for lunch? Where are you going? Oh, that's right. It is that day. That's right. Did you tell him about the test before he could eat over everything we covered today? Did you take notes? Oh, boy. I'm teasing. I always say that. That's just the thing, I'll make it easy for me to you, too. Keep up what you've been doing. Apparently, you're doing the right things. And thank the family for being here to support him. That's a big, big deal. So, congratulations, John. That's good, Judge. All good in District 1.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gold.
Thank you, Judge. First thing I got to do is I owe you some checks. So John says he's never handled $4,600.30, so I'm going to ask him to hand that over to you. And I always say it's just like being an adult. It comes in one hand, you turn around, give it to the government immediately, right? But John, congratulations. Clearly, being tops at a middle school is a big deal because there's a lot of great students there. And just looking at your family and seeing the pride, like this whole meeting, even during the most boring stuff, the smiles you could see, just the pride. You've got a great foundation. You've got a lot of people pulling for you. We're all now pulling for you. Keep up the good work, and I can't wait to see what you're going to do in the future. He's been super engaged, asking questions, putting up with me, talking about, trying to explain what's going on. Really impressive young man here, so congratulations on that. I want to say a special shout out to Nick. This work that he's done, the amount of work he put in to get these grants, and then he got the big grant, and then he got the matching grant to pick up our part. I would talk to him at night things like that. He put in so many extra hours just to make this happen. And the impact that it's going to have on public safety on our roads in Henderson is going to be phenomenal. So to be able to get that over $4 million that's only going to cost us $27,000, it's just all that hard work that you've done has paid off. Nick is quiet and unassuming, but he goes so much above and beyond to get the job done. So the whole county owes you a debt of gratitude for that, because it is truly going to have a massive impact on the safety of our roads. And just in general, just to echo what everybody else is saying, the county team that comes together, from Kenny, Bruce at the jail, Nick and his crew, the sheriff, everybody, the way we all pull together and come together in a crisis makes me very proud to be part of Henderson County government. So just thanks to everybody for that. Other than that, things are great in the county attorney's office, and I'm proud to be your county attorney.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Master Tompkins, I'm going to go to you.
All right. Well, I'm going to start off by thanking Nick again. The grant work was exceptional, and people don't have any idea the amount of hours of his own time with 3 kids that he's got, that he has to get here, there, and everywhere, that it takes. I mean, to do that type of work, I mean, people, hundreds of applicants to get that. And it's just, it's amazing. I can't say enough good things about him and the culture that he has instilled at the county road department. I think that's evident. You can see that because as I was out checking roads throughout all this, I encountered his crew multiple times. They were, alert. They were driving safely. They were doing things, making the appropriate safety checks, and courteous to people they came across, And people don't understand that also allowed the process of power restored by the line crews who were out there 24/7 made that much faster, because they were able to get around a lot easier, to certain places. So great job, Nick and crew. I really appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the line work, the sheriff's office who did the same thing, same type of work, just any people that did that. But the star of the day, John. First thing I want to say, shoe game is on point, son. It is amazing. I love it. I saw that first thing and I was like, man, that kid's got style. You know what I mean? So great work there, and I'm glad to see that you understand that being a leader means doing the right thing when nobody's watching, because there's going to be a lot of days where it's tough to do the right thing, and I'm glad that you see that already. So you keep that up on those hard days, and you're going to continue to do very, very well. So thanks for all you do. I can't wait to see what you do in the future, and we're proud of you, buddy. So. That being said, everything's good in District 2.
Thank you very much. And Master Putnam.
Thank you, Judge. A great man once said, brevity is the soul of wit. Shakespeare, I believe. So I'm going to be brief. For other magistrates and individuals didn't leave much to say, but again, congratulations to John Murray V. Let me just, to be brief, to get that judge scholar thing, it's several categories that you got to plug into. It's personality, how you interact with people, how you conduct yourself just in general at school, the kindness, and obviously your grade point, which is a part of it. But it is a big deal, as Magistrate Southern spoke to it earlier, but congratulations again. Again, thank everyone. Kenny, thank you, I think, for stepping in on that generator thing. Appreciate it, at the Salvation Army. But again, congratulations, young man. Enjoy your lunch. Where was you going?
Lions Club.
Lions Club, yeah. You going to have to sing a song?
Yeah, I didn't tell him about that.
And, anyway, Judge, all is good in the fourth.
Thank you. Yes, John, there will be singing. I can't wait to hear you. But I think you'll enjoy Lions Club, and I really want to say how happy I am for you. This is a nice honor, and I know your family's very proud, and the school's very proud. And, so enjoy that, and we'll have a good time at lunch, and then you got to go back to school. Can't last all day, but today, all day today will be John Murray V Day in Henderson County, so congratulations. It's been said many times, and we said it all last week, the county folks who responded in some form or fashion to the storm last week all did yeoman's work, and very appreciative of them. I visited the county road garage in the morning a couple times as guys were headed out, and guys and gals. And, they've been through this before. We're unfortunately getting used to situations like this, and they know what they're doing, and they did it in tough conditions. I don't think the wind chill factor was ever higher than 30 degrees all the days they were out. And that's just, it's hard, man. And to the linemen and all the utility people, they understand that well, and they worked hard. And the power was out at my house for 3 nights. I'm empathetic to anybody who went beyond that. It's not easy, especially when it's that cold. So I'm glad we pulled through that, and compliments to everybody. And we'll see what happens in the next 2 months. We're still not out of the woods yet with wintertime, but I think we're getting used to handling these things. And I will say that there has been a couple times where citizens got a little impatient, and I get it. I can understand that when your power's out and you got trees all over your property, you don't know what you're going to do next. It can be very frustrating. And sometimes when our crews show up to do what they're going to do in front of your house, it can be, kind of an impulse to take it out on them a little bit. And we had some experience with that. But our guys handled it very well, very, very professionally, and I think we were able to explain to people what they were doing and what the possibilities were, and I think in the end everybody was patient. We got a lot of compliments from the community, which was great, and great to hear that. One announcement, and you all know that I'm very involved in the Henderson Leadership Initiative and a graduate of that program, the second class. My friend County Attorney Gold is a fellow, a graduate of the program, who graduated from the very first class. The graduation for this year's class is Thursday night, and they will be presenting their projects for the year, and each of the projects touches county government. One project has to do with digital electronic kiosks that will be in the library and potentially future other locations around the community where people can go in and use a touchscreen to find out about services available to them, wide variety of community services available to them, and it's very interesting, and look forward to seeing the finished product. I think they're having a ribbon cutting for the kiosk in the library here coming up soon. Another group is doing a Video Citizens Academy, which will help educate people about the functions of government here, and I think we all understand that there are a whole lot of folks in a community who really have almost no idea how local government works, and part of that perhaps is our fault for not doing a good enough job of explaining it, and this group is hitting on a way to educate people a little bit and do it at their own pace, because there'll be a series of videos, and so that's going to be that project. I'm eager to hear details on that. And finally, a group is going to be updating and kind of modernizing the signage at the Women's Honor Court to make it a little bit more noticeable, because many people walk right by it, don't even hardly know it's there, and because it's tucked away a little bit and kind of unassuming, but it is one of the most unique things our county has. We know of hardly any, if any at all, county parks devoted to honoring the women in a community, and that's what the Women's Honor Court does. So they're going to be presenting about a couple bits of improvement they're going to be doing at the park, at the Honor Court, and I'm interested to hear that as well. So Thursday night, I believe it starts at about 6 at the Fine Arts Center. Good note, Magistrate Tompkins is in the upcoming class of Henderson Leadership Initiative, and I think he's going to have a great experience. So we encourage you to come. You're all invited to come. It lasts about an hour. There'll be a little reception afterwards, so please make plans to join us. It always helps the classes when a good representation of the community comes out to see their presentations and hear what they have planned. So with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor can leave.